There are a few things certain in life. Taxes will always need to be paid. One day we're all going to die, and believers in gods don't always have the best reasons to accept that there is or are floating wizards in the sky. But you know what isn't always certain? Finding someone willing to point out the ridiculous things theists say about those magic sky people with me. So, thank goodness for Jaclyn Glenn. Hello, I'm TheSkepTick, the British floating circle that watches people make extraordinary claims and then I explain why I don't accept what they're saying. But this time, I have some help in the form of Jaclyn Glenn, who I recently saw had a similar reacting to Christian stuff video, so it made sense to virtually hang out and poke fun at some of the silliness believers say. But before we hear of yet more stupid things, if this isn't your first Skeptic video, hit the like, the subscribe and the bell and prove that the algorithm isn't stupid. And a super thanks to those that hit super thanks in some recent videos. Unforgiven Atheist, Condor Boss, Fred Harvey and New Pitbull. Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe bestows leaves upon you all. More hen. Okay, Jaclyn, take it away.
Hey Skeptic, thanks so much for having me on your channel. You know, in a world of theists using circular logic, it is so nice to meet a logical circle. But it's even more refreshing to be able to share in the misery that is watching cringe Christian content online, because there is just so much of it. And dare I say, I'm actually kind of excited to react to some of these clips because I know I'm not alone. My only hope is that Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe, leaf be upon her, approves. All right, let's go.
Don't forget to go and say hey to Jaclyn. I've dropped a link in the description to her channel, and there's also another video just like this on her channel too. Unless you've seen that one, and that's why you're here, in which case, just give her a like and all that gubbins.
If you're an atheist, I'm about to put you in a corner right now, because I'm about to ask you a question that you will not be able to answer. In fact, I'd be very rich if I had $1 for every time an atheist said these 3 words. Who made God? But let me flip that question back on you. If you don't believe that God created you, then the only other logical conclusion you can draw is that the universe created you. So if you believe you were created by the universe, then who created the universe? If you know the answer is none other than God, type amen in the comments.
Hold your typey fingers. No need for shouting, hey men. Who the bloody hell says the universe was created? Or even that the universe created me? Quit trying to shift the burden of proofies, Lauren Brooke.
Quit trying to shift the burden of proofies again, because she's literally posted this same video before.
If you're an atheist, I'm about to put you in a corner right now.
And if you saw my last video reacting to cringe Christian TikToks and YouTube shorts, you will see that I reacted to another guy saying the exact same thing. I mean, verbatim, it's the same script.
If you're an atheist, I'm about to put you in a corner right now, because I am going to ask you a very hard question and you will not be able to answer it.
Now, I don't care to keep going down this rabbit hole to see if somebody posted the same thing before him or who was first. I really don't care. It's a bad argument nonetheless, so it doesn't really matter to me. It's just interesting that such a bad argument would be reused so many times, because I guess that many people thought, wow, this is just brilliant. Atheists are not making claims about the universe or the cosmos or our origins or anything just because we don't believe in God. We're not making a claim, and further, a lot of us are comfortable saying we don't know. We just don't have all of the answers. If I had $1 for every time a Christian said I don't know instead of defaulting to God of the gaps, then I would have no money.
You ever get tired of those pesky atheists sitting in their ivory towers looking down on you saying, religious people are stupid, we have higher IQs, we are evolutionarily superior beings, called to debunk primitive human constructs, and you are the enemy?
That's silly. No atheist would ever say that. Religious people are stupid. We, the atheists, have higher IQs and we are evolutionarily superior. And we are called to debunk primitive human constructs, and you are the enemy. Ah! Well, that's awkward.
Oh, I actually saw that video of yours. I mean, what? Ivory towers? I mean, other than being against ivory hunting because it's silly, I wish my house was worth that much. The majority of atheists I know, which given I live in the Bible Belt in the USA is very few, live in very modest housing. No ivory anywhere. And yes, I know that was a metaphoric idiom, but still.
Well, I have news for atheists. Did you know that the smartest woman in the world is a Christian? IQ of 228, Marilyn Voss Savant. Did you know a former smartest man in the world is also a Christian? Christopher Langan. His IQ bounce between 190 and 210. He's working on a pretty interesting theory right now, a theory of everything. Very clearly very intelligent guy. Oh, but he's a Christian. Oh, never mind. He can't be intelligent because he's a Christian. What? Duh. Silly me. Did you know there was also a study done a couple decades ago? They found out of the top 10 highest IQs in the world, how many do you think were atheists? Only 2. 8 of them were theists. So 8 out of 10 of the highest IQs in the world believed in God. 6 of them were Christians. So I think we've pretty well debunked that theory, guys.
Yes, I think theism is silly, but that does not mean that I think theists are stupid. Not all of them, at least. I mean, you can find stupid in any group. Someone somewhere hurt this man's ego, and he feels the need to justify his intelligence despite religion, which is just sad. Let's just live in a world where we can do what we want as long as it's not hurting others and just everyone's okay with it. But also, I have to point out that on average, belief in God is associated with lower IQ scores on tests. But okay, I'm gonna get in trouble. Help me out, skeptic.
No way! I'm joining you in digging that hole that isn't a hole, because really, it's true. Although, how smart someone is doesn't demonstrate the truth of something they accept. A lot of very clever folks I know believe in a god because it makes them feel warm and fuzzy inside. I am a self-proclaimed dum-dum. I'm just not convinced of the existence of any gods. There are really clever atheists and there are really smart believers. There are some absolute numpties that accept gods, and there's me, a floating circle atheist bringing down the average IQ. However, I do feel like the real low IQ here is the person driving and making a video. Car theists really do bring intelligence down a ton.
So this is how you prove God's existence. Topics cannot refute other topics. And that's because the other topic that you're trying to refute is only an attempt. And that's because, again, that the topic exists. It might be a fairy tale dreamland thing, but if God is real due to this, or since God is real due to this, then fairy tales exist, dragons exist, fairies exist. They're just not on Earth. Supporting proof of this, besides the topic, is that other planets exist. If one planet exists with life, then it's quite likely that another planet can have life on it too. What kind? Isn't that the question? Perhaps dragons and fairies. Perhaps immortals. Perhaps aliens.
Well, yeah.
Perhaps mythical creatures. You know?
Topics. I never considered topics as evidence, but the topic never came up. At least not for me to compare the topic or compare the topic topically, as I typically apply topically in tropical environments. At least when it comes to sunscreen, so. The man has a point.
Fairy tales exist.
Fairy tales do exist, so checkmate.
I don't know. There would be a lot of confused children whose teeth would never get collected if fairies weren't here on Earth. But is he just going down the path of when folks compare gods to other make-believe creatures and then he just throws their existence onto another planet? What a cop-out. But if those make-believes were on other planets and never here, then surely that would apply to the god he thinks is real. But apparently, that god does interact with Earth. It's amazing how goalposts move when it comes to their gods.
Can I feel the wind? Yes. Can you feel the air inside your body? That's because God breathed that into you. Don't run away. Yo, don't be cowards. Don't be cowards. Talk to me. Don't be afraid.
What a great way to win people over. Hey, don't be a coward. Come and listen to why a make-believe cloud dude loves you.
Yeah, a grown man shouting at me, calling me a coward, that would feel so inviting. Don't be afraid, shouted super aggressively, would particularly help calm my nerves.
You see, even the Bible says that the fool in his heart believes that there is no God. Fools.
And I don't know how many times it needs to be said, fools do use their hearts to reach conclusions. It's the sensible folks that use their brains.
They say, oh, we can't see the air, but we believe it because we're breathing. That's literally what you can say about God.
Comparing air to God, it really is not helping your case. We can't see air, but we believe it because we're breathing. I mean, you can feel it, right? Like, you can go, I look so ridiculous. You can feel it. You can measure it. You can quantify the different gases that are present. We know it's mostly nitrogen and oxygen. I don't need a belief system to know that it's there. You know?
You can see the seas, how deep they are. And now no man has ever been to the depths of the ocean.
But they have. As of 2022, there have been 22 descents to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. You know, the deepest part of any ocean in our little blue marble. The first time was on the 23rd of January 1960.
That's how you know that it's been created by God. Because if man created the ocean, man would be able to get to the bottom of what it created.
Whoa. Hang on. The alternative to a god creating the ocean isn't that man created it. Are we witnessing a failure in the American education system here?
Yeah. More funding for education. Go vote, folks.
But it can't. He can't because he did not create the oceans. That leaves evidence for God. You see the skies, you see the stars, you see the seasons, how they change and manipulate. That is God himself.
Who wants to tell him that the seasons are due to axial tilt? Rock, paper, scissors for it, Jaclyn.
Not it. I don't want to do it. Not it. Not doing it.
He's the one that's in order of the universe. The Bible says that the Bible. You can talk to me. What's going on? Yeah. I got it. What's going on?
Oh dear. You know it's rough when security turn up and tell you that you're being a bit much. Awkward.
How to prove the existence of God through research.
Finally, research we can do to prove a god.
I mean, who needs research when you have topics and, like air exists?
Proof number 2. Atmosphere as a protective roof.
Why?
The research team that specifically explains the atmosphere as the Earth's protective roof are NASA 1970 and IPCC 1988.
I'd just like to apologise for the annoying British accent going on here. I feel like I should be the only one of those.
Modern research proves that the Earth's atmosphere functions, protects from the sun's harmful UV radiation, burns the meteorites that enter the Earth, keep the Earth's temperature stable.
And we made the heavens a protected roof, but they turned away from the signs of God's power.
What God said 1,500 years ago in line with research on the atmospheric function. Think, why?
So, atmosphere equals God now, huh? And a Bible verse that kinda alludes to something resembling atmosphere as proof? I'm not sure a barrier created by a god would be able to be damaged by hairspray in the 1980s.
This is pretty classic confirmation bias. The Bible also talks about the waters above the firmament, which makes the earth seem sorta, flat. Good luck getting science to back that one up.
And Bill, I'm glad that you're here today. And many of your debates with leading atheists have entered on such topics as atheism versus Christianity, or does God exist, or what good evidence is there to think that God exists. And today I'd like you to share with our audience 5 good reasons why you believe God exists.
Very good. I'm convinced, John, that the hypothesis that God exists explains a wide range of the data of human experience. For example, God is the best explanation of the origin of the universe.
Is it though? I think there are some other much better explanations. One, that a super-dense mass of crap exploded under its own fullness and rapidly expanded into what we know today as our observable universe. Or how about the universe has always just been in some capacity and has pockets of space that are constantly exploding masses of space crap everywhere? Or even that once, many billions of years ago, the cosmic rainbow being Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe, leafy upon her, pooped it all into existence.
Honestly, my faith in Lisa is growing exponentially as we go through this video. I don't understand how anyone could be comfortable saying God is the best explanation. It's not like he's approaching it as though it's some sort of strong personal conviction he has. He's just saying, well, don't have a better answer. This is the best we've got, so we don't know, therefore God. It's just the strangest concept to me.
Second, God is the best explanation of the fine-tuning of the universe for intelligent life.
Yeah, right. It had 200 billion stars to choose from in the one galaxy it picked out of the 400 trillion galaxies that we can currently see in our universe, and put intelligent beings on one little blue dot to then fight with other intelligent beings over which creator being is the right creator being. Sounds about right.
I'm starting to question if we deserve to call ourselves intelligent beings at this point. He's basically saying the same, nonchalant, I don't know, therefore God thing he was saying before. Things weren't fine-tuned so that we could exist. Conditions were just favorable to us being able to exist, right? It wasn't for us, but we are here because it just so happened to work out.
Thirdly, God is the best explanation of the existence of objective moral values. and duties in the world.
Right. Like making a rapist marry his victim, or instructing beings on how to own people as property, killing children for calling a man bald. Oh, hey, ending a man's life for not finishing inside his brother's widow. Daughters getting their dad drunk and continuing his lineage for him. So moral.
We all definitely live in a world of secular morality. We'd be stoning people in the street if not. But of course, religious people will take the credit for morality regardless.
Number 4, God is the best explanation for the historical facts concerning Jesus of Nazareth.
Hold on. Wouldn't Jazzy of Nazi be the best explanation for that? Or are we suggesting that J to the Esus wouldn't exist if the god hadn't have put his magic seed inside a miner?
Yeah, I actually watched the full clip of this to see what this guy could even possibly present for this argument. It was real bad. It was basically, Jesus performed miracles, Jesus rose from the dead, people saw this stuff go down, therefore it's a historical fact. You know, people saw him crucified and then saw him alive again later, therefore it must be true. These are his historical facts that he's referencing.
And finally, number 5, God can be personally known and experienced.
I mean, can he though? How can you tell the difference between a god being personally known and experienced and someone just thinking that a god is being personally experienced?
Sure, some people feel that they have a personal relationship. That's the point, right? God is supposed to watch over you and protect you, keep you safe, provide for you. Having that connection is part of the faith, and it's fine that people have that. But believing in something is not evidence of that thing. It's just not.
Together, I think these provide a powerful, cumulative case for believing that God exists.
And I say it's a load of claims that you'd have to actually demonstrate, rather than just asserting you're right. But what do you think, Jaclyn?
Every single thing on that list of 5 had so much wrong with it. So my takeaway is that we don't have all the answers, therefore God. And I mean, like, how could we know right from wrong if God's not real? And God is real because people believe he is real, and also the resurrection is a fact, so obviously.
It turns out it's way more fun reacting to a video when you're doing it with someone else. Thanks, Jaclyn, for pointing out the silly that theists believe. Where can folks find you?
You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Jaclyn. That is Jaclyn. I know it's a weird spelling. And yes, it is definitely more fun to react to these clips with somebody else. So thank you so much for having me on your channel and working so hard to pull all of this together. And to Lisa, it's been an honor. To everybody watching, thank you so much for putting up with me crashing one of his videos. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure you watch the collaboration we did over on my channel. I hope to see you there. All right, bye.
I've put all the links in the description for you to check out Jaclyn if you haven't already. Go and bestow some leaves upon her from the one true rainbow deity, Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe. Leave be upon her. I think these stupid videos were dealt with accordingly. But if you disagree, let me know in the section below. I'm going to SkepTick this as getting the job done. A big thank you to this month's top level ticks on Patreon. Dark Ether Piao, Tamo, The Barely Bearable Atheist, George, Godless Granny, Addy Rockhart, The Enixes, Jakari, Elizabeth, Whiskey Tech Fred, and Rick, as well as all the $3 base ticks. You can become a supporter on Patreon too at patreon.com/TheSkepTick. The link is in the description, along with links to all my other socials. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. From me, the Skeptic, stay safe, keep thinking logically, and ask questions. Skepticism is the first step towards truth. See you next Saturday.